way so you don't have to look at it. Okay, I believe we are recording. Good, so you don't have to look at yourself. That's a little bit daunting. I mean, no, I mean, you know what I mean? Nobody wants to look at themselves.
For a number of years.
Okay, let's go for it. It's going to be about 20 minutes.
Not a problem.
What I was supposed to say. So thank you. And the one thing we just need to know is that if we do use a clip, is that okay? We have your permission. Okay, I figured so.
Not the problem.
Okay, so the first question, which you've got in front of you, tell us a bit about what you do for a living and for recreation, including what types of artistic and culture activities you participate in.
Well, happily, I'm paid not to work. I'm retired.
You're retired?
And what cultural and artistic activities, it's a little bit varied because, of course, I'm involved in the Arts Council, and that covers the whole gamut of artists. The artistic experience that I have myself, I'm a textile artist. At the moment, I've become really interested in knitting 3D shapes.
Oh, cool.
Well, it's rather difficult. It's not working always quite as well as I want it to. So I'm going to have to do, so mostly I'm trying things. And I haven't had huge success, but I know I will eventually. I'll get there. It's just, these things take time.
And we might want to mention the music.
Yes, I did run, or still running, the classical concert series on Bern, which has its ups and downs. People who forget to tell you they've decided to cancel their concert, and you find out just at the last moment. It was a little upsetting.
Yes, that has happened.
And, the pianos have given us a certain amount of grief, which we hopefully have solutions for. And trying to keep a varied amount of musicians doing different things. So if there's a pianist, then you want to have strings, and you want to have wind, and you want to have brass, which turns out to be very difficult to get. To keep people interested. But we have a problem in that the people who like classical music on Bern are getting older, and they're leaving. And that concerns me. What happens to the future of classical music? Except when I go, for example, to the opera in town, and I see a lot of young people. But I don't see young people at the HD performances from the Met, other than my son. So I don't know. I don't know where that leaves classical music. Now, we must also include people like Philip Glass. But I don't see huge numbers of young people going to see Philip Glass.
No. Or any kind of classical music.
No.
That's true.
And that's concern to me. I think that's worrisome.
Well, I think that's a concern that maybe that's a thread that will come out too in this process is getting young people involved on the arts, keeping it with Bowen now. I know I mentioned that. So
I think that's a problem. That is a real problem for the Arts Council, and it is our job as the Arts Council to find a solution to involve young people in the arts. I had wondered if we could get someone to teach. I know Janet does not enjoy teaching young people. Some people do, some people don't. But if we could get eat chocolate biscuits and drink milk and paint.
Yeah, right.
Or something like that. For those.
So a kid version of
yes,
eat, drink, paint.
For painters. Ballet is quite active on Bern, and somebody with a ballet background, I'm very interested in that. It's not easy because you need a huge amount of space, you need a space to perform, and of course we don't have a community centre. Back to that one, it keeps on coming up. Yes. And the same for other performing arts. It's difficult.
It is, and we'll probably come back to that in a minute. So, the first main question is, tell us the story of one of your most memorable cultural or artistic experiences on Bowen Island as a performer, participant, amateur, or reader, listener, and audience member. So pick one or two.
That's very difficult.
Yes, it is difficult because there's so many of them.
Well, there's a lot of stuff going on, and some, I like classical music. Some people love jazz, and some people love pop music. So
But
Yeah.
your most
things that
memorable.
are really valuable to other people are not going to be really valuable to me.
No, so we want to know about
I
what
love
is your
Jane
most
Coop. I thought Jane
Okay,
Coop was,
Jane Coop's
and
the
perhaps
ones.
even Svetlana Ponomaryova. I will spell her name for you if you like.
It's okay.
I think she is an extraordinary pianist,
They are
and
extraordinary.
she just.
So our wonderful classical concerts with
I love
professionals.
that. For me, that was wonderful, but it's difficult to do if you don't have an audience.
It is difficult to do, yeah. So that was a memorable cultural
I loved it,
experience.
yes.
Is there any other ones, just off the top of your head?
I loved the textile art shows. That I
Okay.
thought was wonderful. I wish we could do more. I would like to be a little more involved in what is and is not shown. Well, that's because I've been an agent for
Of
textile
course.
artists, so I have a huge interest in that. But it takes a lot of time, and it is much easier if you just paint. I quote Janet Swanberg, Janet Bretchel, she is now. Jeanette said, I love doing pottery, but it takes so long. It's easier for me to be creative with paint. And that's true, it is.
Yes.
It is. And so, with that in mind, I think we ought to be focusing more on paint, hence my support for the new gallery. I think it's important. We need it.
We do need the new.
We need it. I really want to see that built.
Oh, we certainly do.
It's got to be wide enough to put a grand piano and chairs and play concerts in
I
it.
don't know about that. We'll try. Well, when we open it up. Now, actually, you have to decide, I guess, which one, because I've either got for professional artists or for other than professional artists. And you are an artist. Do you consider yourself, do you want the professional artist?
I've never
Question
thought of myself either as a
or the
professional or as an
other?
amateur, merely as somebody doing things.
Okay, I'll do two.
I'll give you two, because I'll tell you, for the professional artist, there's a huge challenge on Burn.
Okay, well, what is
Making
your
enough
opinion that's
For
the
them,
greatest
it's
challenge?
making enough money to live. It's a
Yeah.
huge problem.
But is that any different on Bone than anywhere?
I think, actually, if you live in town and you're a good artist, I think someone like Greg in the right place would be making a lot of money.
True.
Bone is not the right place.
Oh, no,
And
well, we don't
for
sell on
somebody who
Bone.
works full-time as an artist, you can't sell here. You can't.
No.
You have to be able to sell in town. That means you have to be the sort of person who likes to go and sell. That's difficult for an artist. Most artists find that quite painful and unpleasant. Then you need an agent. Well, the agent's going to take some of your money. You don't make much money as an artist. This is a vicious circle.
Well,
and as a result
there's a lot
of that,
different types of artists, yes. Okay,
the other part of two is a result of that people become artists who are not so professional. They have other jobs.
Yeah.
That eats into time for being creative. It eats into time for thinking about being creative. It just eats into life totally.
Yeah.
So I find this, how do you solve that problem? Well, I know one artist who's managed to get his wife to support him, but most people don't do that. Well, I know two actually, I think about it. But it's, people ought to think more about doing that. Art, all types of art are required for a healthy community, for a healthy country. We cannot exist without art, because basically we have no identity without it.
Absolutely.
How would you identify? I mean, people play soccer. Okay, that's lovely. I hate it. But this is how you really give culture. Your culture comes through art, through artistic expression.
Absolutely.
If you don't have time for culture, what the hell do you have at all? Nothing. You live in dormitory communities. You watch television.
Isn't it like,
it's nothing. You
know what Churchill said, right? When they said, cut the arts programs during the war, and he said, well, then what do we like? Oh.
Yes, he was right.
Okay, so actually I'm going to look at 2B too, though. When you're at your most creative, what are you doing? In other words, what types of artistic or cultural activities do you enjoy? And
I have to be alone. I can't.
Want to be alone?
Is that awful?
No.
I
Are you
can't do it. I
kidding?
can't bear having anybody around me.
Well, me
If I'm
too.
doing any of the textile arts, dyeing, knitting, anything, playing with paper, whatever, I can't bear it if anybody's near me. I can't even bear anybody going into my studio. I am so antisocial about that.
Yes, but I think that's
And
normal
I'm very
for
social
artists.
about other things.
Yeah.
I just don't want anybody else in there. I hate it. I just hate it. I can't even let somebody go, I have to clean it. I can't bear anybody going in. I just...
So what types of artistic or cultural activities do you enjoy?
Well,
then?
at the moment, I'm trying to work out this knitting in 3D, and I don't mean flat. I want to knit balls, unstuffed balls.
Ah,
I've got to stay up.
but unstuffed.
Yeah, I want to knit shapes that nothing can't have anything inside it. It's just got to hold that shape.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, it's proving to be a little bit frustrating.
Well, because it's going to collapse if it doesn't have any in it.
Indeed, it will, but it's not going to. I'm going to make it not collapse.
Well, if you use heavy wool, I mean, how would?
Oh, I hate heavy wool. It's got to be lightweight wool.
But how's it going to do it without? Are you going to do a crisscross in between or something?
No. Well, you see, I'm getting there. You'll see. You have to wait till I get there.
Because of course I'm a knitter, right?
Yeah.
Oh
Yes, that's right.
yeah, I love knitting. Yeah. And my mother, well, she see what my daughter does. Oh, she's a crochet artist.
I think 3 is really important.
Okay, well, let's do number 3. What's holding you back from participating in or attending more creative and artistic activities?
This is a terrible thing to say. People.
Okay, no, it's not a terrible thing to
People
say.
interfere with your life. My children make demands. They're all adults. My husband makes demands. I'm running around clearing up, fixing up, and doing things for people.
Yeah. Family commitments.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Family commitments are destructive. I'm sure if I had a job, I would say the job, because I think jobs are just totally destructive.
Yes.
But for me, it's my family that I adore.
Of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. Mind you, if you didn't have them, wouldn't be any better. So, is there anything you can think of that might help overcome that obstacle? Well, not really.
No. So that's the problem.
Sorry,
I
don't quite understand that.
I quite often notice
question.
that people who are single, who therefore ought to be able to be artistic, some are, but a lot aren't.
Yeah, it's true. I think it's more than just being held back by time or whatever.
I think what would really help? More money, cleaning lady,
Yes.
a gardener, and somebody to
minions.
Yes, minions, and somebody to wander around the house admiring my husband doing whatever it is he has to do.
So you don't have to do it.
So that I don't have to do it. Yes, this would be very, very helpful.
I like a few minions. Yes. Okay, number 4. When you think of arts and culture on Bowen, what person or what place comes first to mind? What or who do you think is our greatest
Jacqueline Massey.
cultural asset? Maybe say that as a sentence just in case we use it.
Jacqueline Massey is without question the greatest cultural asset on Bowen Island because she makes so much possible. And possibility is so important in an artistic community. If you don't have possibility, where are you going to go? Nowhere. And she makes that possible. She is an extraordinary asset.
Absolutely.
You're not a bad asset yourself either.
A badass, anyway.
Yeah. No, but you are important, and you've actually changed the Arts Council, which desperately needed it, and you've changed it, and that won't change back.
How do you think our...
Because you know how to organise a meeting, you know how to run a meeting, you know how to run an organisation, you have a great deal of knowledge about the organisation of business.
Mm-hmm.
It is a business.
It is a business.
It's an artistic business, but it is a business. It's got to be run properly. And if it's not run properly, it just hampers everything and nothing ever gets done. Yeah. So you also are an important asset. And, artists themselves are an asset. We need all of them. Dave Cameron writes plays. That's an asset. People go and see them. People make new paintings. Our curator is an asset. Mm-hmm. Because then they're all arranged well. So all of these things are very important. Art Specific is an asset.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Okay, number 5. Culturally, what do you think most differentiates us from Vancouver?
Well, less irritating night activities that go on in
It's funny I said
Vancouver.
this.
Oh, those awful nightclubs. God, I hate them. They're noisy and, oh, frighteningly awful. Restaurants that stay open till 2 in the morning. What a waste of time that is. Yes, they have theatre and they have ballet sometimes. The last ballet BC performance I saw, I was quite impressed by that. Some very nice choreography, some good dancers, and lovely music and so on. That's all great. But you know what? That's all people not participating in the arts.
Exactly.
I'm sure there are people in Vancouver who do participate in the arts. In fact, I know quite a lot of them.
Of course.
But this comes back to, interestingly, the ones I know tend to be textile artists. You know what? They're all wife of and supported in their activities by their husband.
So what do you think differentiates us, though, from Vancouver?
I think there are more artists per square inch, if you like.
There certainly are more artists.
And that tends to encourage other artists.
Do you think that's changed over the years?
Do I think there are less artists on Burn? I suspect there are. My fear is that we're becoming a dormitory community.
Have we not always been, though?
No.
Is it getting worse?
20 years ago, 20 years ago, I seem to know just about everybody on Burn, except for, the odd hiders who come here to hide.
Yeah.
Now there are a lot more of them, or maybe a lot more people who spend all day working, and then you have to commute. That takes time, and
I think there is quite a large chunk of people I don't know that are the commuters. I mean, because certainly my social circle hasn't changed in 10 years. Really, it has really.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, some people come in.
Well,
meet artists.
Come and go, but
yeah, but no, and that's a concern because I would really hate Burn to become a dormitory community.
Yeah, or
it would have no heart then, would it?
Well, I think it's getting pretty close to being one now.
It's scary, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, my biggest fear is that there's too many older people and not enough young people in the arts. The Arts Council is a bit on the grey
side. Well,
this
can't be considered Bone's problem. This is a national problem.
Well, it's a national problem. There's too many older people.
Earning a living, no, it isn't. Earning a living takes so much time. There really isn't much time for anything else. You have a job, you have children.
Well, of course, I wasn't involved in the community in my 30s and 40s at all. I did absolutely nothing.
I had 3 children and a job. No, I did nothing.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. So I had 1 child, but still.
Yeah, I
had very few friends, and I worked all the time. And we did travel. Anyway.
But that was your time off from work, and you traveled because you just wanted to. You didn't want to have to.
Yeah.
Do other things. So this is a problem.
I did the parent advisor for the PAC, I think, once. For 1 term, I was the secretary. That was it. Okay. In terms of our culture, what's changed the most since you arrived, or what do you see changed the most right now?
In the last 20 years, I would say, and I hate to say this, there's less of it, and there are more commuters who are not involved, and that's the point you brought up. And that's a worry for me, and I would really like us as the Arts Council to push for more involvement. We have lots of membership. We're good at our membership. We've really done quite well with that. But they're not active.
But where are they?
That's what concerns me.
For more active involvement.
We want
might
more
have members,
active. We
but
want more active involvement. We want more participation. We do want their membership, but we do want them to come out, to see, to do, to make, to create, to participate.
Yeah, because I was thinking too when I answered this question that the change I've seen is that the audiences are getting smaller.
Particularly the music. 20 years. I'm looking.
Svetlana, that was pathetic.
Yeah, that was awful. That was truly
fantastic. But 30 people.
She's brilliant.
And Antoine. Oh,
Child's frightening.
Yeah. Lovely child, though. I mean,
you see, if we went back to how we did it originally, we had the music in people's homes. We had a piano, not so easy to find, and then people would come and they'd pay.
Yeah.
They wouldn't book and they wouldn't pay in advance. And sometimes, you know, if the weather was bad and it was cold and it was November or December or January, whatever, you'd have maybe $100 to give people. And a lot of people, the older people, have actually complained to me about that. And I've said very firmly, if it's going to be done like that, I'm not prepared to do it, because I'm not prepared to ask professionals to come here to pay and say, oh, guess what, guys? It isn't enough to cover your ferry fares.
Yeah.
No, that's not.
That's the 60s.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Well, I'm with you there.
I'm not prepared to be a street artist that way.
No, artists must be paid.
I agree. Absolutely.
Wow.
It's really important.
Very important. Okay, so number 7, we're just about done. Is there a particular type of artistic or cultural activity you'd like to learn more about if you only knew who to ask?
I'd like to know how to make mosaics.
Oh, that's an interesting
I
one.
just think that would be fun.
It would be fun, actually.
I would like to know how to work with silver and gold. I really would like to be able to draw, but I know this is never going to happen, because I have taken so many drawing courses, and I have come to the conclusion I can't. And I think the reason I can't is that my eyes are very different, and for a long time I have 2 different stigmatisms, so I can't make it work. And it's why, for instance, you know, when people are playing sports, they follow whatever with the ball. I can't do that because I can't ever see it.
You can't see it, yeah.
I literally, I don't know where it is. I never know where it is. So
mosaics, silver and gold, so jewelry.
I love things with
I'd like to have more jewelry things.
I would like to, but I sort of mentioned a bit of it to Janet. And she said, oh, no, I don't want anybody stringing beads. And she's wrong about that.
Well, jewelry making isn't just stringing beads.
Yeah, well, even stringing beads, because it's how you do them.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'd love a jewelry making workshop. I think would be great fun.
Would you like me to get the silver lady to come?
Who's the silver lady?
She makes, it's pure silver, not sterling. It's pure silver, 100% silver.
Sure. I don't know. One point.
She can give a class.
That Dave and I were talking about.
She used to live here, actually.
Yeah, it is also providing more opportunities on Pomona for people to more casually get together to do art.
What she would do, she does
rather than a formal expensive workshop.
Well,
right?
the trouble is they're all expensive.
Well, you have to pay a little bit, but you know, they just get like I have critique groups that I've been involved with writing or just hanging out with people knitting. I know you probably used to do that with
I used to go to the knitting class, which is on Wednesday, but I can't knit very complicated things, which is what I'm trying to do. When I've got I want to be alone. I can't take the conversation, and there's a woman there who she actually creeps me out. She's very negative, and she spends her time looking at people's work and criticizing it. And you know, I don't go because of that. And I like a lot of the people in that group. And it's in the old folks' home. It's a very depressing place. The room is horrible and cold and dark, and I don't like it.
You go for it?
Yeah, I can't work there. It puts me off.
Yeah, no,
if it was up at the gallery, I'd be perfectly happy. Yeah. You know that?
That's not a very nice space.
It's a horrible space. Yeah. And the gallery's lovely, and the gallery's just comfortable and nice. You know, you go there for the eat, drink, and paint. And when we can get Kathy to the eat, drink, and paint at 4 o'clock, and that's such fun.
That'll be fun.
It'll have to be 2 nights, though, I think. Or 2 days.
Okay, in a few words, what brought you to Bowen Island, and what would you most miss if you had to leave?
Well, what brought me to Bowen Island was an accident.
Yeah.
On January the 15th, 1995, there was a massive snowstorm in Ottawa. And we were at home, and I couldn't get home and had to walk home. I had to walk home about 3 miles in the snow. Of course, I had boots, the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was in Hull, and I couldn't get across the bridge.
Really?
So I had to walk across the bloody bridge, across the Ottawa River, and then I got a bus part of the way home. And then I had to walk the rest of the way home. And by the time
buses were stopped?
Yeah, well, you know, they couldn't. They'd plough the road, and it would just keep on snowing, and it had been going on all day. I know. I finally got home. Adam had been at a meeting, thanks God, in Tully's pasture, so he was able to get home. and I got home and it was about 7:30, and I'd been gone, you know, and I was tired and I was exhausted, and I thought, if I cook a meal, I'll shoot myself. You know?
Yeah.
But fortunately, Adam had got all organised and fed the children. We hadn't eaten when we were going to have to eat. And I just got home and got my stuff off, and the doorbell rang. And a man called Morley Litsit, who had worked with Adam at Treasure Board, showed up at the door and said, "Let's go out to dinner." And we looked at him and said, "Morley, there's a snowstorm." And he said, "Yeah, but I know where there's a restaurant 1 block away from here." And there was a very good restaurant, which was 1 block, block and a half down from our house. So we went down there and had this wonderful dinner. Morley took us out to dinner, lovely man. And so he died this year, which is very sad. Anyway, he was talking about how wonderful the West Coast was. Of course, we'd been out here, so I knew how nice it was. He said to Adam, "You should come and work at Simon Fraser."
Oh.
Now, in order to do that, because he had worked for government, he said, "We'll say we want you to have leave of absence for 2 years to come, and you know the way the government is, they'll argue it down, and then you'll get 2 months, which is what we really want you to get, 2 months." And I thought, that's lovely, and I get to stay here. Charming.
Yeah.
So they applied for this. Yeah. And then in February, before any answering held, every single department was called in one Friday afternoon to the meeting room, and we were all told the government has decided to downsize, and we are going to, anybody who's over 50 can retire and start collecting their salary, their pension now. If we don't get enough people for each department, and my department was supposed to have 250 people retire, we'll pink slip you.
So it was a lot of incentive to retire.
So then they said to Adam, "You've got your leave." And Adam found out that day, so I said, "Oh my God, what are we going to do?" And Adam said, "Well, can you get a 2-month leave of absence?" I said, "No." Cedar said, "They're not giving anybody leave of absences. You either retire or you're." So I said, "What? I'll retire, and then I'll go back on contract." It's double dipping because everybody does it. It's illegal, of course. So I said, "I've got to be there really early Monday morning because everybody was all about the same age at Cedar because it started in '69 and I joined in '71. So I was there at 7 o'clock on Monday morning, and there were 40 people in line in front of me.
Oh dear.
Anyway, so I got my papers signed and I retired, and that was out, and you could see the difference in the office as the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, everybody got happier and happier and happier. Then on Wednesday, the deputy minister of the agency, Whitby's government department, they called an agency, God knows why, met on Wednesday afternoon. Well, she met the vice president or the assistant deputy in charge of the personnel and various other things, and said, "How is the retirement going?" And this woman had not checked. And she said, "Well, I'll check and call you tomorrow morning." Well, we had 1,200 people working at Cedar, and 520 had resigned. 520.
And they only needed 200.
Yeah, 520 were over 50.
Oh my God. So that kind of backfired. Did they think of that? They hadn't counted?
No. Anyway, it's just stupid and laziness, that's what.
I mean, because anybody would take that deal.
Yes, well, we all did.
Well, yeah, nobody's.
Yeah. A large number of
at 50, you could still go get work anywhere, right?
That's right. That's what we all thought.
That's why I retired.
So then that was great. So that's it. I was gone, and I retired on the last day in May or the last day in June, whatever. And we came out here, and we said to our friend Morley, "We need to rent a house." He said, "And where would we be able to afford a house in Vancouver?" And he said, "Well, houses in Vancouver are very expensive." And I thought, "My God, I've got children now." It's happened. Miranda had already at university. Yeah. Rosie was in her last year in high school, and she stayed. She was going to graduate in January, so she stayed in school for the last month and came with us. I thought we'd better get a townhouse, in Vancouver, somewhere outside of Vancouver. Well, he said, "No, we'll go to Burn Island." "Where's that?" we asked. Yeah. Oh, well, he said, this is the instructions he gave us. Remember the traffic situation's changed a bit. He said, "Go out of your house, turn left onto Byron Avenue. go up till you come to Kergate, turn left on Kergate, go up to Carling, turn right on Carling, and blend immediately across to the left-hand side of the road, go up on the Queensway, and drive till you see a sign, ferries, on the left side of the road saying, ferry.
Yeah.
To Nanaimo and Bowen. And that's how we got here. Can you imagine how many thousands of miles we had to turn out of our house and then again onto Kergate and again onto...
So you were living up in Blue Mountain area? That's not Blue Mountain. Where were you?
We were living in Ottawa.
Oh, this is in Ottawa.
Yeah. That's how we got... That was the instructions about how to find Bowen Island from Ottawa.
Okay.
I've just given you.
There was 3,000 miles in between there.
Yeah.
Okay, I was wondering.
Nowadays, it would be turn left onto Byron, turn left up Kergate, turn right onto Carling, blend left, and drive till you see a sign, ferry sign, on the right-hand side of the road. But that was it, yeah. And that brought us here. So it was entirely a fortuitous accident.
Yeah.
And then when Adam had finished his 2 years on leave of absence, he went back to Ottawa and said, here I am, because he had a contract saying he'd get his job back.
Yeah.
Here I am, I want my job back. Where's my office? What am I going to do? And they didn't know what to do with them, so they extended it for another 2 years. So he came back, and for another year, still working at Simon Fraser. And after that, 2 years were up. This is now 1999. He went back, did the same thing. They gave him an extension for 6 months. So back again, and it's now 2000.
Yeah.
And they said, oh, please could you retire?
You just retired. Yeah.
Well, Adam said I had to have my pension right away then. Because he already had all these years, so he did, took his pension and left and came back. So it was just, I mean, we got here just by accident. But what I would miss about it, I would miss everything about Barn.
Like what?
I'd miss people.
Yeah.
I'd
The
miss
community.
I'd miss the community, I'd miss the Arts Council. God, I'd miss the trees, I'd miss the mountain, I'd miss being able to look at the sea. I mean, I suppose when I get really old, I'll have to move into some horrid condo somewhere downtown.
But for now.
But for now, I'm not doing that. And that's it, is it?
I think that is it.
I'd miss our wine nights. We should do that. We should keep that going, you know.
Do our yes, when I get home, come winter.
Yeah, let's do it. Wine nights again.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Hang on, let me just turn this
What
off.
day are you off?